There you go.
Hey man,
Hey, how are you? Sorry about that.
yeah, no problem, no problem at all. We always got technical problems, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is I should have recorded it. Like my you're frozen here.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on.
know. I don't know how to fix it, so we'll just keep on going. Who cares? You know?
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
How's that?
there I go.
Hey, there you go.
Wow.
When when I was trying to connect with you, the my backlight on my screen started like lightning. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
It's oh, I can't
I had the
I
same thing. I guess it's because of this weather, like pouring rain and stuff.
maybe I've done a lot of these, and that's the first time I've ever seen that, man.
Right?
Maybe we're
Yeah,
gonna have an maybe we're gonna have an electrifying interview. Can you hear me good? Hold on.
yeah, yeah. You're fine.
Oh, oh,
You
oh,
know?
oh. Hold on. Hold on. Check. Check
Yeah,
two.
you're
Is that
good.
good?
Yeah, yeah. Because a couple times, like, I turned green. You know?
So weird.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's
It's okay. It's all
you
good,
know,
man. It's all good. We're here now.
yeah,
How you
good.
doing, Brian?
Really good, Pat.
Good, good.
Um,
How's your family? Everybody good?
Everything's good.
Good, good.
So the first time we really met was at Four by Fate. I think it was like type of reunion show or something like that. We did, and then I met you again at Vintage Vinyl at the in-store autograph session and stuff like that. So tell me,
Yep. You have the in store?
yep, yep. So like when you first
Yep.
started music, did you always want to go into music?
Yeah, I started playing guitar and singing when I was 5 years old. So it was an early indicator of my love for music, and it's been with me my whole life. My my both sides of my family are into it. My dad's side are more drummers, and my mom's side are more singers and guitar players. So I grew up around it,
Right, right,
and and when I hit about the age of like 12 or 13, I was like, this is what I'm doing, you
right.
know.
Wow.
And I hit the ground running and I haven't stopped since.
Cool, cool. Now, was your first band Pound?
No, well, my first band that got a record deal was Pound. Now that was my
Right,
first signing. So yeah, if you want to call it my first national band, you
right,
could say that. Yeah, you could say that band was the first band. In '94, we signed a publishing deal with EMI, and in '98, we signed our first deal with Island Records, which is Universal
right.
parent. So that was our first major album. Yeah.
Oh. And then you went Flywheel?
Then I was in Flywheel. Yep, yep, yep. Made another two albums with Flywheel, and then I started doing my solo stuff and producing and writing for multiple genres and artists.
Right,
Um, and I kind of did that in between the Flywheel and my Patrick James band, which became my solo entity.
right,
Um, and I started working on a lot of different records, and I started, co-writing and writing and producing and doing a lot of pitching and writing for multiple artists and making a lot of records. And then I finally released my first solo record,
right.
Patrick James Band.
Mhm.
And and here I am at this point. But I've done a lot of releases as a solo artist.
Right, right. Now, when you worked with Four by Fate, how did you actually hook up with everybody?
So John Regan and I, the late John Regan, God rest his soul, we're from the same town.
Right,
And as he was doing his thing, I was doing mine. And we knew of each other. We just never crossed paths because, excuse me one second. There you go. I just want some notes. Um, he was touring with Frampton. I was touring with Pound. We both knew of each other. He was an idol of mine, obviously, with Freely's Comet. He's one of my idols. And we finally connected. And um, the story goes like this. The passing of my dad is when I was starting to record my solo album, and I decided to write an album dedicated to my father,
right,
which was the first solo release, Patrick James Band 189, Ride of a Lifetime. So John and I met at a coffee shop, and we hit it off. We knew a lot about each other, and long story short, I invited him up to the studio, my studio, to play bass on one of my new songs,
right,
and he had been working on this Four by Fate, this kind of, it was going to be a reunion of Frehley's Comet. It was supposed to, he was trying to do a 25-year reunion.
Right,
There was just everything, things weren't lining up with Ace and everything else. And him and Todd were working on, putting together, another project,
right.
which was Four by Fate. So, I invited John up and, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow. The whole
I
picture.
know. Yeah. Go ahead,
That's
do the
crazy.
logo. Yeah, there it goes.
There you go. That was crazy. I invite him up to my studio and he played bass on a track called Follow Me.
Right,
So you know, there the relationship began. And he went back to the guys and he played it for Todd and Todd obviously dug it and you know, they cut the first half of the songs that they did, and obviously the story, right? I
right.
don't,
Yeah.
with AJ
Uh,
and 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 Stet and all that. So fast forward, John calls me back. I sent him some more songs, and they, we kind of clicked. Everything kind of clicked. The next progression was, John called me up and asked me if I wanted to join the band, and I was like ecstatic, excited about it. And I actually, put a call in to Robert Fuso, and because AJ had, God rest his soul, had passed. I was actually going to meet him at the Chance when we was on tour with Adrenaline Mob, and we were going to talk about the next. We were going to meet up because I didn't meet him on the first half of the session,
right,
and we were meeting up there and talk. I was going to introduce myself, and we were going to hang out and talk about the second half of the record. And he passed away.
right,
Um, and then that's when I had put a call into Rob, and I told Todd and John about Rob, and it kind of all worked out. We recorded the second half of the album, and I brought more songs to the table, and that's how John and I met. We've been friends, dear friends, ever since. Almost 10 years now. My God, that flew. But that's how that happened.
cool, cool. Now, when I talked to John a little bit, maybe a month or so ago, and he was going to be working on a new project. You know anything about that project?
Yeah, he was working on, he was going to do a tribute to what was called Deja Vu, was a tribute to Crosby, Still, Nash and Young,
Right,
because he had toured with Stephen Stills and he was excited about the project. And he had gotten back together with his band Easy Street, his original band, before he started playing with Frampton, and they were doing some dates. And I was so glad he got a chance to do that, because the singer of that band, Reggie, the guy he started out with when he was a young guy, had passed away, 10 days before John did. So I was really happy that they got a chance to play again together.
right,
We're talking decades,
yeah,
and then John passes 10 days later. Um, so I was thrilled to see that happen for him, because I know he loved Reggie and Tom and the other members of the band. And so he was going to start this other, after that, played its course. He was going to start this new project, which he was
right,
really excited about. He was going to do a tribute to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So, he had a passion for that music, and he was excited to get it off, and I was excited for him. Unfortunately, it didn't come to pass. So that's what that was.
Now, I know John, and you know John, and other people know John, but what kind of person was he? I know he was well loved. You could have saw that at the funeral, how many people were there.
Yeah, John was an amazing guy. He was just, he was a real person. He gave you his time. He put his heart on the table for you. He made you, he really took the time out for everybody, and all his fans, his friends, his family. He was
Right.
just he was a solid guy. The resume, the history.
Uh-huh.
And Brian, I saw pictures of you when he's holding your head when you were young, when you're a young kid, So
Yeah.
him, the kind of guy he is, but he was just an amazing human being. And for
Right.
me, John and I kind of grew up in the same, heritage, the same background. We,
Right.
we we hit it off immediately. So we connected on every level, and making music was just that just came naturally. But he was an amazing human being, man. He really took the time. He made time for everyone.
Right.
He made time and he made everybody feel important, because in the right of the whole thing, everybody is important. Everybody has their way of carrying themselves, and everybody has their approach in life, and it is important. So he
Right.
made the time for everyone. He was
Right.
an amazing human being. He was a great family man, he was a great businessman, he was a great musician, he was a great, producer, songwriter. He really kept the balance, and kudos to him. I tip my hat to him.
Wow. Now you're working on a song of Mata Hoople,
Well, that's a song we did a while back.
right?
John and I cut that. John always wanted to cut that, and we cut that a few years ago, and we just got so busy with my project, his project,
Uh-huh.
and projects. But we cut that with my son on the drums,
Right.
and Rachel Lauren on vocals, a girl I was producing,
Right.
and he had an idea of having a female vocal, on the record,
Right.
and we put a spin on it. We worked on a project together, and we really love that rendition of it. And it never got a chance to get out, and I'm going to release it because I feel like it's such a great version of that song.
Right.
That was cut in a day.
Yeah.
We did all the production early in the day. My son came later in the day and cut the drums, and I mean that was a record by the time we were done. That was one day,
Wow.
and basics were done. Actually, the first take we did was the take. My son posted a thing on
Uh-huh.
Facebook today,
Yeah,
and
that's why I saw it. Yeah.
yeah, the first take was the take. We did a second one for good measure, but the first one was a take, and then obviously we did overdubs and all that. But the energy was right there, so that was a pretty magical time. And John's done a lot of productions of mine and on my solo record, so I have a lot of deep stuff that I'm gonna be releasing here. I have another duet record coming out
Uh-huh.
with a girl I produced called Taylor Reese. Her name is Taylor Reese, and we have a duet record coming out. And I have another solo record coming out, and where John has played some bass on. So I'm going to be releasing those tracks this summer. So
Cool.
got a
Cool.
couple EPs coming out as well. But I'm going to release that because I never really had a chance to see the sunlight. If
Hey.
you would say.
Wow. Wow. You said you're gonna do a new solo album. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, I've been working on it. It's ready to go. I have two albums coming out actually.
Okay.
One's a duet record, and the other one is a solo record. The duet record, I have a single out now called Maker Man that features Taylor Reese, another young lady who I'm producing.
Right.
And you can check out all her socials at taylorreese.com. And then I have another solo record, Patrick James Band, coming out
Right.
later in the summer. I did a cover of Faithfully.
Uh-huh.
I did an acoustic version of Faithfully that's on the B side of Maker Man that's going to be coming out in the next 3 or 4 weeks actually. So
Right.
I got a lot of releases coming out. I'm a busy guy, and I have a
Oh, definitely.
couple other productions that are in the can there, with records coming out. I got a band in Florida and Texas I'm working with. They both have records coming out that I'm kind of co-producing and co-writing. So that's that. And I actually just did a podcast with a new pod of some buddies of mine. It's called Keep Talking 365 with Murph and Shoe. They're friends of mine, and they
Right.
got this new cool music sports thing coming out. So
Uh-huh.
I just did that with them. And I'm also having another co-host this Wednesday night. It starts Roger the Wild Child.
Right.
I'll be a co-host on that show that premieres in Nashville. So
Right.
that starts this Wednesday night. And so I got a lot going on, which I'm excited about.
Cool. Anything about live shows coming up?
Yeah, we're putting together a Southeast run. We have some Midwest dates coming together, a couple New York dates. There's a lot of, late summer, early fall things coming together. I've just
Right.
been so busy in the studio and productions going on. And we're also trying to put together a tribute to John Regan. We did a spot on the radio. I don't know if
Right.
you heard that. Did
Yeah.
you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was really nice. With Ace and Joe Renda and Todd Howarth came on. That was a nice piece, and we're trying to follow up with a tribute show for him.
Cool.
It'll be upstate New York, here in his hometown,
Right.
and we're trying to get put a nice lineup together. And I'll keep you posted with that, Brian.
Right. Good.
Um,
Definitely.
I've been really, knee deep with that. So, uh, that's that's what's in the pipeline right now.
When you did the show with Ace, I think that was the Chance,
Yes.
right? What kind of impression did Ace leave on you?
You know, he left an amazing impression. What thrilled me the most was that, the Frehley's Comet, John and Todd were able to reunite with Ace, and that needed to happen a long time ago.
Right,
A Frehley's Comet reunion should have happened, and it didn't happen due to whatever reasons that are out there. But
right,
just business and life. But I was glad that it happened for them.
right,
Um, but it was great, man. I met Ace a couple times, and Kiss as well, the rest of the guys. And we did that run with Peter in Australia,
right.
and it was great. Ace was great. Great guy. He did a great interview on the air. I loved what he said, and hey, man, he's a pioneer. He's an icon. And I was happy to see him. Have those beautiful words for John Regan, and he's one of my childhood, stars. Heroes.
Yeah. Wow. Is there any goal that you'd like to put out on yourself for the future?
The goals for me is I keep making great music. I keep writing great songs, producing great records of my own, and I produce multiple genres of artists.
Right,
So I could be working on a pop record one day, a rock record, a heavy metal record, or a hip hop record, an R&B. So, these days for me, I want to challenge myself, inspire myself, work with up and coming artists or hit makers
right,
that are writing hit songs that need hit songs for their albums. So whether I'm behind, the desk in the studio writing and producing or on the stage, I still get that feel, I'm a live guy, so I love playing
right.
live. But I also love being behind the desk and producing great artists and writing great songs. So my goal is to keep on putting out great music and bringing live music back to the way it was when I grew up,
Right.
just keep developing artists, getting them out there, just pumping great music out there, you know, because like you and I both know, we grew up in an era of great bands and great shows
Right.
and great music, and it's still the same. It's just, we live in a different world, but the long and short of it is records still come out and people still need to be inspired by music. You
Right.
know, the one thing about songs is you'll always remember an emotion and a time in your life. A song will always take you there. There's nothing else that can do that.
Right.
A wedding, an anniversary, a funeral, a wake, or, a christening, monumental moments in people's life. Songs are equivalent because, you know, those pivotal times in your life, you can relate to songs. And to me, um, I always keep it about the music. For
Right.
me, it was always been about the music. I let the songs do the talking. I let the music do the talking. And if I can inspire and touch people and then get them through their day and put a smile on their face, job done for me.
Is there anybody you produced that you could recommend to me?
I mean, I have a lot of, there's this band called Divided Truth out of Florida, Anything But Human out of Texas, Taylor Reese, upstate New York, young guy Bobby Galetta. I have another Canadian artist. What does she go? She goes by. Hold on, give me a second here. I don't want to. She has a new stage name. I want to get it right. Hold on. Where is she? Oh, I have to get her new. I have to get her new handle.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's her new handle? Anyway, we'll keep moving forward. But yeah, there's a few things. I'll keep you posted on new records that I have coming out. Ashley Pater. She has a new stage name, but Ashley Pater out of Canada.
Uh-huh.
Um, that I produced some of her music. She's got some new stuff out. These are up and coming artists that are
Yeah.
doing really well out there. So I'll send you a list of all the stuff that I have. You can
Cool.
actually follow me. I post them all the time.
Right.
I'm always pumping out new music with new artists, and I love doing that as well. You know?
Cool. What's a typical day for you, at home?
I'm in my home studio right now. I usually come down here. I'm always writing. So if I'm not in the studio tracking a band, I'm writing songs, I'm building my catalog. I have a family and kids and grandkids, so I do my family thing, and then it's into the studio, always working on new material, doing a lot of Zoom writing like this,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is happening a lot.
yeah,
The pandemic actually forced this on, and it's been actually an amazing tool
yeah,
to allow me to work with people all over the world. So that's my typical day is get down here, get some songs and ideas prepared, get some basic tracks cut, and then get in the studio and start cutting them. And, working on my own stuff, producing new records and new songs, and, getting out and doing some dates with the Patrick James Band, you know, because I love doing that. I have an amazing band. Can't speak enough about these guys. This band is amazing, and the Patrick James Band, you really got to come out and check it out sometime. You should come check it out.
I
I'll
will.
send you some dates. And John was in the early version of this band,
Right,
from 4x8. We did this, and then we morphed into this, got really busy, and John started working on other projects, and we just started working together on different projects.
right.
But really love this band, Lee, JJ, Mike, um, Taylor's in the band. What a great band,
Well, what's your feeling about vinyl coming back?
And Rick on bass. I don't want to forget Mike, Rick, Lee, JJ, Taylor, and myself, Patrick James Band. Love the guys to death. What's my feeling on what?
What's your feeling about vinyl making a comeback?
Vinyl's huge, man. I've talked to a buddy of mine that I actually was he was on Universal Records, and he's now on at a different company.
Right.
Vinyl's I love that. I mean, if I could turn this
Yeah,
computer
yeah,
around, you'll see my stack of records here. I think it's great.
yeah,
You know what I think it's great for is a new generation to really open up a record and look at the pictures,
right,
and and put it, I don't have my system anymore because excuse me, because we're all Bluetooth set up, but
right.
the stereo systems and the turntables, I love the whole thing. So I think that it's cool that the younger generation, you know, besides musicians, kids and
Right.
grandkids, they know it, but the general population does not know it, and I'm happy that they're getting introduced to it. And I hope that it makes a huge turn, come back. But it's
Uh,
pretty big, it's pretty
yeah,
big.
definitely, definitely. Well,
You
Pat,
know,
okay.
when I was a kid, when I went to get to the record store to turn around and look at the album and the pictures and the liner notes, and that was it for me, man. I was like, couldn't wait.
Wow. I wish some of the print magazines would come back too. I
Oh
miss that.
yeah,
Like Circus, Hit Parader, all
Metal
the
Edge, all
yeah,
those.
Metal
Yeah,
Edge. Yep, yeah,
I
yeah,
grew up in all those magazines. I wish they would come back. It would be such a great thing.
yeah.
I mean, you could see the stuff online, but it's not the same. It's not the same as getting that fresh
Green again.
magazine and
Huh?
opening it up, checking out the new bands, and
Right, yeah,
the little blurb of the new record out. And there's the screen again. You
yeah.
see
I
it?
know.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah. Wow.
It's got to be the weather. That is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nuts.
Definitely, definitely. Well, it was good talking to you, Pat. Would you like to say anything in conclusion? There you go.
There you go. It was great talking to you, Brian. I know we had a couple
Huh?
times together that we took to get this together, but just keep out, you could find all my social media at patrickjamesproductions.com.
Right.
All my music will be out there. You can find what I'm doing, whether it's my band, my productions, who I'm working with. I currently have a single out called Maker Man, and
Huh?
Faithfully is backing that up. And I'll also follow up with a duet EP and a solo EP this year. So that's what's on deck with me. And I'd like to just say a word to my dear friend John Regan. He's missed. I think about him every day, and the music community really lost not only a musical genius, but a heartfelt human being. And the world's a little dimmer here without him, I have to say. To be honest with you, I haven't stopped. I still. It's been 3 weeks. I still can't believe it happened.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm really going out of my way to try and shine the light on him because he never wanted to be in the forefront. So, um, it's time to shine the light on him. So that's why I'm really, getting involved in putting this tribute show together. And we'll probably do it in multiple places, and I'm getting a great response. And he's missed. I love him. And not only me, so many people love him, so many friends, family, obviously his family, and the bands that he played in, the musicians he played with. I mean, you see online, it just
Right.
keeps going on and on. It's still going on.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
never going to stop because he was an amazing human being, and I loved him like a brother.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Pat. I appreciate the chat.
Ryan, it was great speaking to you, and we got to do this again. We
Okay,
got to get
cool.
a picture like this. I'll grab you next show.
Yeah.
30 years later. I think he did that though, didn't he?
Yeah. 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 Yep. Thanks a lot, man. Good luck.
All right, Brian, take care. Talk
Bye
to you
bye.
soon. Bye-bye.